How is everyone doing tonight? For whatever reason, I clicked live and there was like a 45-second delay to when it went live over here, but it looks like we are good to go. As always, if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them in chat. I will address the title, my final weekly live stream. It is not clickbait. It is not a lie. I am gonna be transitioning back to fortnightly, bi-weekly, semi-weekly, whatever you want to call it. Every other week, I'm going to be live moving ahead. Dan, why are you going live less? Does it have anything to do with Burnout, what you talked about in your video earlier? It's not that as much as it's just the weather getting better. We're going to be traveling more. I'm going to be mowing my lawn more. Hopefully be getting busier with outside activities and other stuff. So I just another part of that too is back in October, sometime around October, somebody flipped a switch and I went from having 60 or 80 live viewers to having 200 plus live viewers every stream. And it felt crazy to not take advantage of that opportunity. It was nice. It was a win-win because it was like more viewership. It was the cold months anyways. It was like what's going on during the winter, late nights. So I just went with it. I just rode the wave, went with the flow, and I'm continuing to go with the flow. The ebbs and flowing are flowing towards less viewership on my lives as of late. So yeah, I'm live right now. I'm traveling this week, and Pokeflips is next week. So every second Friday, we'll have Pokeflips, and then every week in between that, usually Wednesday or Thursday, usually Wednesday actually, almost always Wednesday, but not always Wednesday. I will be live on this channel. So back to the fortnightly lives. I think in the description it says fortnightly solo live stream Q&A, now weekly rocket emoji, and that's not actual rocket emojis. That's just I typed out rocket emoji. So I'm gonna have to remove that. I'm gonna have to go back to just the fortnightly solo live stream Q&A. So I'll still be live every week, but it'll be half here, half on Pokeflips, live every week as well in Discord through the Pokenomics Patreon if anyone has interest in that. Not a Fortnite streamer. That would be very dark. But yeah, streaming every fortnight, every 2 weeks. Yeah, right, Dan just being lazy, we get it. Definitely it's a little bit taking the foot off the gas. If you do the math on how much time I'm on YouTube relative to the hours that I work in a week, it's actually kind of crazy. I mean, I work, say, 50-hour weeks on average right now. If I do a video, half the time my Monday videos at 1 p.m. are like an hour long. Even if they're 20-30 minutes, you got to go in, you got to do all the content things, you got to add the end screen, you got to add a couple links, you got to add, well, I add the timestamps. It's probably a solid hour to hour and a half on average just to post the Monday video. And then I go into Opus every week and I do the clips from the shorts. I probably should outsource that at some point. Maybe I will. But as of right now, I'm doing it. So say another hour making my shorts for the week in Opus. We're up to 2.5 hours. And then you add a weekly live stream. That's on average, hour and a half, 2 hours probably. Not much for setup. Not much for like tear down. Everything is pretty much here. And it's like out of the way of not getting in the way of my normal routines and stuff. Normal work. But you're easily at 4 hours a week. Then you add in 3.5 hours every other week for Pokeflips. Now you're at like 6 hours a week. Over 10% of my week is on YouTube. And then if you add in Discord, if you add in the Patreon, weekly hour office hours, and you add in the monthly Zoom, that's a couple hours. I'm at a solid 10 out of my 50 hours a week are Instagram and YouTube and Discord, which directly make me very little. They make me they don't make me 1% of what I make net revenue wise, but indirectly, and also I talked about Burnout in the hobby on my video earlier today. I enjoy them. I'm not burnt out of content. I genuinely enjoy it. I enjoy engaging in the Q&As, and I enjoy still answering all my DMs and stuff, answering all my messages on YouTube, all my comments. So it's pretty crazy when you think about it, that 20% of my time is spent just content wise. I think pays for itself. Like it gives a good return. If I look at it purely business standpoint, it's mostly indirect. It's the consignments. If you want to sell your slabs on Fanatics, 95% payout above 2,400. It is being able to buy. This is not my hot buy list for the week. Let me actually go in and update my proper buy list for the week. So this is my hot buy list for the week right here. I'm gone fishing this week. I'm gone fishing. The fisherman is taking a week off to be with family, going to a water park. I am, though, after I made this, I looked closer at my stream numbers, and I looked closer at what we sold for Prismatic last week. Surging last week. We sold 1,119 packs of Surging last week, and my guys have almost nothing. PK and Panga have almost nothing. So if you have Surging out there, I didn't put it on my hot buy list, but I am paying $6 a pack for a couple thousand packs. If anyone has Surging, $6, friends and family, ACH, Wire, Zelle, or I can do goods and services up front. Try to lock it in like tonight or tomorrow morning because I'm going to be traveling. I will have my laptop. I will be going on probably like Wednesday night. I'll probably go on and issue some payments and check up on emails and things like that. But overall, I'm not going to be working that much. It'll be after 9 p.m. after the kiddos go to bed. I usually can't fall asleep immediately anyways. But yeah, I am not having an extensive buy list this week. That said, I lowered my buy rate to 70% on all packs. I'm always buying all packs at 70%. There's times where people hit me with like, hey, 5,000 Silver Tempest or something that like I don't sell much of and I have a lot of. Right now we have over 5,000 packs of Silver Tempest and we sold 81 last week. That's pretty deep inventory. I mean, if you got 50 packs, 100 packs to add in with hundreds of other packs, sure, I'll take them. But I'm not trying to buy 1,000 pack plus lots of Silver Tempest right now. Not falling over myself to do that. But yeah, I think that's everything I had to just rant at the start. As always, if people have questions, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here for the next 60, 90, maybe 2 hours. Probably 60 or 90 minutes, though. It's going to be relatively short. I have a very short week, so I have a fair bit of stuff that I had to get done today, and I have to get done tomorrow morning before we leave. So I'm going to try to not go too late so that I can get to bed early, get an early start tomorrow. But yeah, let me catch up with people. Zell's TCG, welcome to supporter. Appreciate you very much. Dio's Cards, Dan #1 YouTuber in the world. Shall I add this to the pile of top signals? The pile is ever growing. Next month, I'm going to be making a video review, recap, update on the palette that I did with my dad. The 3 palettes that I'm doing with my dad right now, plus the MetaZoo palettes, plus there's a lot to cover in that video. That might turn into like a 2-part video, but we'll see. It's another top signal to add to the pile of top signals. So the last one didn't break the camel's back, and I'm sure this one won't either, but we'll see. How's it going? L-Dubs, DGen Dude. I'm cutting my hours back, indeed. If I remove one live every other week, going back to what I was saying earlier, I'll be removing an hour and a half-ish a week, which is like an hour and a half over 50 hours. That's 3% of my schedule. 3% of the time I'm working is being freed up by removing this live. And honestly, it's probably not going to be replaced with work so much, especially coming into summertime. Probably going to try to play more board games with my wife. We try to do that periodically. We haven't been doing it too much lately. Probably going to try to play RuneScape a little bit more. Probably going to try to go shoot hoops in my driveway a little bit more. Try to add non-Pokemon things to fill that hour and a half a week on average I'm saving. How's it going? Cardboard Cabin. FSR 56. This hurts. I don't know if that's with respect to me lowering my hours, but I promise you'll be fine. There's so much good content out there. My watch later backlog right now, shout out to Java Akuma. He's having a different Pokemon person on every day all month long. I think I'm 3 behind, and I'm going traveling for a few days. I'm gonna be like 6 behind. Java's got my backlog covered for the next couple of days once I get back. And there's so many good podcasts, I've been having to like trim some content that I watch lately because there's just too much. I add something new, I add some new podcast, I add some new creator, and it's like I can't watch everything. I'm weird, I think, in that I go to my subscriptions feed. And I watch the people that I subscribe to. I think these days it's much more like, let me just throw myself to the algorithm and go to my recommended feed only, my homepage on YouTube. I think that's what most people do by far. Let me know in the chat. Are you a home person only? Watch one video and then let it autoplay. YouTube knows me better than I know me. I've definitely ended up down some rabbit holes in that fashion, ones that I was happy to find myself down. But overall, I don't do it that frequently, and I don't know why my music is not playing. My stupid voice meter banana is failing me. I'm probably gonna end up accidentally playing rated music through my speakers if I fiddle with it too much. But yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's usually good, but everything looks like it's right, and I don't know what's happening. But yeah, as always, feel free to drop questions in chat. I will be answering all of them as I always do. For a while, it was difficult. For a while, it was very difficult to answer every question because we were booming. We are booming still in a lot of ways, but it feels like, at least my YouTube, maybe it's only me. Maybe this is just a Dan thing. Antiviral Dan coming back. Able B output. It looks like, yeah, I don't know. This is annoying. I can't get it figured out. I'm just gonna close it. I'm just gonna close it and figure it out later. Dan wants to touch more grass. Good for him. It's a beautiful time of the year. We've had, I mean, upstate New York weather. We had, not too long ago, about a week ago, we had a couple inches of snow that stuck. Like, sometimes you get snow and it just melts as it falls, whatever. It snows, but it doesn't stick. We had a couple inches of snow that, like, stuck overnight for, like, half a day. Dan does not touch grass. He mows it. It is time soon to mow the grass. I will be mowing the grass pretty soon. I don't know when exactly. Feels like it'll be fairly wet still, but we'll see. Dan, don't leave us when we need your guidance most. I will still be here. I will still be here every week. I'll still be here every week in Discord. I'll be here every week on YouTube. Just half the time here, half the time on PokeFlips. How's it going, Steve's Collectibles? Cutting the grass is taking a priority. That is a few hours a week. Actually, I said I was gonna use the few hours a week that I free up to do other things. I'm like, that's probably about how much time I spend cutting the grass every week. So maybe not quite that much, but yeah, I have to mow every few days when it's dry, when it's nice. What's your favorite card in the Scarlet and Violet era and why? I am so bad at favorites. I am so bad at favorites. Favorite card in the Scarlet and Violet set. I would need to like flip through pkmncards.com or something. I feel like it wouldn't be though. It wouldn't be what favorite artwork or whatever. It would be like I'd go to my son's binder. I'd go to my daughter's binder. My memory is escaping me right now. I'm trying to think. Like, we've not been crazy lucky lately. Every time a new set comes out, we open an ETB or we split a booster box or whatever it may be. They haven't had any like big hit lately. So I'm just gonna default to some Quaxley. I'm trying to look on my desk if I have any Scarlet and Violet era cards to point at. I'm trying to just grab a Quaxley and throw it on screen. That's an easy, safe answer. But yeah, I apologize. I think there's plenty of channels out there that will give you the top X amount of cards, favorite, this, that. That's just not me. So here we go. I found one. I have Scarlet Violet. I don't know why I have Scarlet Violet bulk on my desk, but I do. That's my favorite card. Favorite card in Scarlet Violet. Came in the base set. Quaxley. What a beauty. How's it going, Richard Waters? Cut the grass, not the beard. Hashtag beard crew. How's it going, Beerski? Nice to see you. 4CA on point. How's it going? I am still signing graded games. So I can I can consign graded games for the same payout structure as I do graded cards. Hopefully someday. Man, right now, the amount of sealed that I've been sending through Probstein, and then some of which I've regretted sending through Probstein. I mentioned earlier, shout out, if anyone has Surging Sparks packs, I'm paying 85% of market value right now. Market value 7, I'm paying 6. I will pay 6 on a couple thousand packs. PK and Panga are pretty much out, and we sold 1,000 of them last week. I probably would buy 3,000 or 4,000 packs, honestly, if you have them. I sent a lot of my Surging Sparks booster cases to Probstein. I don't like regret it because the service was bad or an issue or anything, but I just thought they were going to come down. I truly, it's like this set came out at 110, 120, reasonable. It went to 130, 140, crossed MSRP, went to 200. It's like, this feels crazy. I still, if I had to bet one way or the other, I still think Surging will come under MSRP again, but the longer we go without it doing that, the less likely it's going to be that it does that ever, right? The older that it gets. This whole conversation that's going on in the market right now around reprints and is it gonna hit? Sword and Shield's pretty much entirely out of the question at this point. I think most people are deeming SV1 through SV6 maybe as being quite safe. Most of them got a reprint of some amount already, and SV7, SV8, SV9. I like SV8, SV9, SV10. SV10 isn't even out yet. Destined Rivals. I am confident as I can be. I can't guarantee it. I'm confident Destined Rivals hasn't even gotten its, it's getting printed. It's just not been released yet. It is going to be reprinted. I'm as confident as I can be. I'm not going to sell it quite as aggressively as I did Surging Sparks because I'm left kind of annoyed. Like having to immediately rebuy it back. It'll work out. It'll be fine. But I don't like when PK and Panga run out of recent packs, especially when it's a recent pack that's only 2 sets ago. So Destined Rivals, I'll try to be a little bit safer. But the other part of me, like the rational, logical part of me, is just like, get this stuff out of here. People want to give me $300 for a set at release. That's unprecedented. That is crazy. What's going on with Glory of Team Rocket right now, too? It's come down a lot. But it's so wild right now what ultra modern Pokemon is doing. A lot of it is like it doesn't have to be that expensive. That many consumers are willing to pay it. So that many people, that many businesses are just like, hey, you're going to pay it. I'll sell it for that. I am getting like 10, 20% less Destined Rivals than I got of Surging. But I like, it's just crazy because in an alternate universe where Destined Rivals was 160 a box, I feel like sales would happen at that. But consumers are just so falling over themselves. People are investing, speculating, whatever, tying up the product in the middle. All these hands are getting into the pie. Distributors are holding back some product, and it's wild where we're at right now. And maybe Rudy made a video. It's the new normal. He made a call that boxes will not go. He said he allowed room for like one set to go sub 100, kind of like a dud set, a stinker of a set, maybe 1-2 sets to go sub 100. But he said we won't have a year in Pokemon where things are consecutively sub 100, sub 130, 160 even. He was saying 130 to 160 is the new normal in Pokemon. I don't fully agree. I guess I'm just too bearish. But maybe that will be the case. If that's the case, having distro is like gold and it will never come back around where online retailers can get back into it. I just have a hard time believing that's going to be true. And it's like I'm not making massive bets that it's not true. It's not like I'm like selling my allocation. It's not like I'm selling every single thing that I have. But I don't have faith that this insanity of 160 plus MSRP, 160 plus release prices can be a thing. And it's only happened. It didn't happen with Surging, to be fair. But Prismatic came out way over MSRP. Journey came out quite a ways over MSRP. Destined is coming out nearly double MSRP, it looks like. So doesn't feel sustainable. If it is, having my distro will just print me a solid yearly salary. Just take my distro, dump it through Probstein. Take my distro, dump it through Probstein. I don't intend on stopping the live streams at any point, so I'll actually be functionally dumping it through the live streams. But in this market where people just, I talked about selling some Silver Tempest cases last week at 90%. It's like, man, I should have sold them for 97% because I had about 100 cases worth of demand in my inbox, in my emails of Silver Tempest cases at 90%. And I only had 4 of them. So they went immediately. And yeah, there was a lot of people. I'm still replying to DMs today like, hey, Silver Tempest is not a thing anymore. Crazy. Zard Lurking says, I agree, Dan. Also think of all the hours you could spend fishing over the summer, then being on live every week. Those whales aren't going to catch themselves. How's it going, President Whale Cabal? Love that username. Danny, you going to get a bass boat? Boats are a good thing, like pools, to have friends with them. Boats and pools, very expensive, a lot of upkeep, and it's just better to be the guy that brings the beer. Better to be the guy that brings the ribs or the steaks or the burgers or whatever. Dan and PK videos getting shorter. Is this a bear market signal? Yes, probably, but also probably not because Destined Rivals hasn't come out yet, so we're booming. Dan, who's your pick to win the Stanley Cup? Have you been watching the games? LA, Edmonton tonight. I get the alerts on my CBS Sports app, but I'm probably not going to watch that much. I'll probably watch a little bit here and there. I am very checked out of it. I'm very bummed at my Rangers not making it. I went when they functionally were eliminated from the playoffs in that. Let me look at the playoff bracket, though. I'm fine with most teams, aside from it can't be the Devils. I'd rather see it be somebody out of the West, probably. Like Golden Knights. They're the 1 seed in the West. Or, yeah, they're one of the 1 seeds. I don't know who's the 1 seed overall. But let me say I'm going to root for the Golden Knights. I wouldn't mind seeing them win. I don't really want to see any of the Eastern teams, really. So yeah. Is there any hypothetical scenarios where Terra era Stellar Surging Prismatic emerges in the end as the highlight of the SMV era, and alternatively unlikely the Journey Destined style? This is crystal ball type stuff. I don't know. I do play RuneScape, yes. I am playing RuneScape right now as we speak. You have to click once every 7 minutes ish, I think, when you're mining shooting stars. But I am passively training my mining as we speak right now. There's a shooting star in World 368 by the Al Kharid Bank. So I will see you there if anyone out there is mining shooting stars. I've been watching everything on 2x speed, just not enough time for all the content. So do I. I rarely watch things live because it's like, why spend 2 hours watching a live in real time when I can just spend 1 hour watching it later on 2x? Plus, if I watch a live, I'm trying to like read the chat. I'm trying to engage in the chat. My productivity goes down the tubes very, very badly. So I try to just not do it. Fat Belly says, I've been logging in and bank standing, flexing on free to play. That's hilarious. How many Van Goghs do you still have? Seems the card is kind of going up again. Less than 40, less than 10% of the 400 I originally bought. It's crazy. The play is coming to an end. If PSA would get me back my 20 card submission, Hag has a 5 card submission, and then there's some random ones here and there. There's some that just failed to get paid on Fanatics. I think I just had 3 PSA 10s that failed to get paid on Fanatics a week or 2 ago. So is that little bump real, or are people just shilling it, try to go? I don't know. I drive a lot for work, so it's almost a full work day of YouTube, vendor POVs, and TCA. I'm glad to think that I can be some amount of entertainment, some amount of filling people's workday, making them go by quicker. It kind of blows my mind still. 78 watching now. A year ago, that's about where I was a year ago. A year ago, I was having 50, 60, 70 people watch my average live stream. And then 6 months later, a switch flipped, and I had 200 to 300 people watching many of my live streams. Some of them 150, 200. But I rode that wave through the winter, and we're coming out the other side. I'm very happy still to stream to 70 people. It's a lot better pace. I can rant and ramble more thoroughly to answer all the different questions. I'm 12 minutes behind chat right now. So if you ask a question, there's a decent chance you won't have fallen asleep by the time I answer it. But there were some times where I was getting an hour behind chat. Chat will like refresh, jump to the bottom, you lose all the chat. It was wild. There were some wild live streams over the winter. So they're both fun in different ways. How'd the MetaZoo rip and ship go? We did a case break. So 11 boxes sold out of a case. I gave one away just to finalize the case, give it away. And there was no poncho box in the case, unfortunately. I would love to see people hit a 2K box-ish. 2K in there, I think, where it's going recently in a case break. But we ended up selling several loose boxes, handfuls of loose packs, and Skya went for like 5 hours, a little bit over 5 hours. So I told him, like, whenever he's ready, let me know. I'll share it on Instagram and all that stuff. But I think he's gonna do a live stream sometime the next week. Looks like I actually just looked at my DMs on Discord. He's aiming for this weekend. We'll have a more firm answer midweek. So TBD for the next stream time, but I plan on making it regular. I plan on making it a regular thing. Also, in general, do you think slabs and singles are going to keep dropping, or have most fallen enough to be stable? I don't pay close attention to what singles and slabs are doing. I pay way more attention to what packs are doing. I invest, speculate in sealed product primarily. Most of what I sell, the vast majority of what I sell is sealed packs. So I'm paying way more attention there. Overall, I think most slabs, most singles, even most ultra modern sealed product, Perma Bear Dan coming out, I think most of it should fall a fair bit. I think we are in a crazy boom time that is just absurd things are going on. I don't think it's sustainable, but I could be wrong. The bull case for this current market is like cardboard is gonna 10x its market cap, 10x its market size in the next decade as we move to a more digital AI infused lifestyle. Some people will go back to cardboard and get nostalgic and whatever. That could happen. Pokemon could be printing 50 billion cards a year in 10 or 15 years. If that's the case, we'll say, like I've been here since XY era. XY era, we said, whoa, they're printing way more of this than they printed Black and White era. It's never going to be investable. And then Sun and Moon era, they're printing way more of this than XY era. It's never going to be investable. And then on and on and on through every era. And the hobby's grown. As long as the hobby's bigger in 5 years than it is today, generally speaking, a lot of sealed product, and not all singles, not all slabs will do amazingly. But generally speaking, as long as a lot of things are being ripped like crazy, attrition is high, with live streaming, that's definitely a thing. We're evaporating for 5,000 packs a week with Fanatics, PK, and Ponga. So as long as those are a thing and the hobby grows, and whatever the next generation's called, whatever the next block is called, if that's 3, 5, 10 times the print run of Scarlet Violet era, it will be small in comparison, and everyone's investing, but like somehow the boxes are still $1,000, $3,000, $5,000 at 2, 5, 10 years old. I don't know. I'm just along for the ride. Dan's favorite SV card is definitely the Van Gogh Pika. That one's up there. That's a decent shout. Dan's favorite card is the Thomas Jefferson Greenback. I mean, Ben Franklin, obviously, gotta be. Shiny Fates Zard EX. As a fellow upstate New Yorker, what's your thought on this area for selling locally on Marketplace and stuff? I know you sell online, but just curious for your thoughts. I have not ever really sold online. I used to buy years back. I used to buy on Craigslist, and it would only be a few times a year. I'd go on once a week, and it was called Search Tempest, if I remember correctly. You could search not just your local Craigslist, you could search like all the Craigslist within 100 miles of you. I'm pretty sure it was called Search Tempest. And I search it every Monday or every Wednesday or whatever. And I'd hit like 3 or 4 times a year. I'd hit really good solid collections within a couple hour drive. But I sold a few things personally on Facebook Marketplace. And you go meet up at the gas station, you go meet up at the local Walmart, whatever it may be. I sold like a bike rack before. I've sold different things. And my wife actually recently, we were getting rid of some of our baby things. Our kids are 4 and 6 now. They're done with certain strollers. They're done with Well, they're done with strollers entirely now. They still have a wagon, but they're done with strollers, and they're done with, this was probably a year or two ago, they're done with bassinets and whatever other baby things. And the wife's like, we should have a garage sale, or we should list some things on Marketplace. And I'm like, no, please, no. What's the upside of that? It's like, let's go into a couple Pokemon totes in the basement and let's just find $500 in random Pokemon stuff I forgot I had. Let's list it on eBay and sell it, and let's give away all the old baby stuff. I just, the amount of negotiating, the amount of like hassle, you try to meet up with somebody, they ghost you over like $50, $100. I'm beyond that. I can't handle that anymore. So yeah, it might be a play. There's probably good diamonds in the rough, but I think there's a lot of rough. The rough is very deep. So bless those who do it, but it's not going to be me. I buy from people who buy from Facebook, and they buy from Facebook at 70% and they flip to me at 75 or 80% or whatever. Dan's favorite art is that Kingdra promo from Shrouded, the one with the collection boxes. That's a cool card, but not my favorite. How's it going, Dad's Deck TCG? In regards to Surging coming down, I don't think we've gotten that massive multi-set dump from Pokemon yet, like what we got at the end of 2021. I think it's coming, but we'll see. Yeah, I think it will come at some point. I'm quite confident. So there's never been a set in Pokemon TCG history that was not widely available. It might have only been a day or a week, but every set has been widely available for some amount of time at under MSRP. With Champions Path, it wasn't every SKU. It might not have been the ETBs, it might not have been this, that, but it was at least one SKU. I went and I did the Wayback Machine, and I looked on Hills Wholesale Gaming, and I looked on Pokemon Center. Every product was widely available for at least a couple days at or under MSRP. And Surging technically doesn't have to be reprinted to fit that mold, because when Surging came out, it was sub 160. It was sub MSRP. So Surging, theoretically, if Pokemon has this mission statement that every set forever will always be widely available at some point under MSRP, I don't know that they have that mission statement, but up to Prismatic, they've handled that. They've made that come to reality. So I think it's a reasonable mission statement. I think it's a reasonable thing that Pokemon might actually strive for. Will they be able to do it? Will they be able to do it with Prismatic? Will they be able to do it with Journey Together? Will they be able to do it with Destined Rivals? I would bet yes. I'm not going to bet my entire livelihood on that. I don't know how you would do that. I don't think there's an instrument to short Destined Rivals prices, unless maybe listing 1,000 of them on eBay at market price or 10% under market price, and then just putting a 6-month out ship window. I guess that would be the only way to effectively short it. But what people do there is they just don't ship the product, right? It's not like they buy from the open market and sell at that pre-order price once their contract expires and they have to fulfill the product. So yeah, I don't hold that. Like, some people get really worked up if you say, like, I think it's funny because, like, every box has gone up in history, and that's what a lot of Pokemon investors will say. They'll say every box has gone up, so every box will go up. It's like, okay, I don't entirely agree with that logic, but if that was true, Pokemon has made every set available sub MSRP. So if we're going off like it's always happened, so it always will, can't we use that logic to say, like, Destined Rivals is guaranteed to go sub 160 at some point? Can't we use that logic to guarantee, not that Prismatic ETBs, maybe not that Prismatic bundles, maybe it'll just be some random collection box, maybe it'll be some this or that, I don't know, but 151, I truly think 151 was better than Prismatic. I think it's better than Journey. I think it's better than Destined. And 151 was not available widely. When it first came out, it was above MSRP. It was crazy. It was wild. It was a big set. And it was available for an entire summer. It was printed like mad. It was put out in Costco's everywhere. That would meet the widely available. I paid wholesale 70 something for 151 UPC. and it was widely available for like 82 bucks or 85 bucks or whatever it was at Costco. So they did it with 151, which was an amazing set. They did it with Crown, which was an amazing set. I'm gonna bet they'll do it with Prismatic, they'll do it with Journey, and they'll do it with Destined. So I don't know. Crown, Zenith, Spanx, all the other sets. It's probably my favorite out of them, honestly. Crown is probably like right up there. Right up there with 151. Very solid set. I don't know. Peak Dad True. The final business, it's my final weekly stream. So I won't be live next week. I will be live in 2 weeks. So I'm going back to fortnightly live streams. I don't know if this is the end of the boom, but it's the end of my personal YouTube boom. I am no longer maintaining weekly lives above 100 viewers. So I'm throwing in the towel. I'm giving up. I'm not getting the viewership that I want to see. So I'm giving up. Not really. The weather's getting nicer. I'm going to be having to mow my lawn more. It was funny. It was funny, like the timing of it. October, the end of lawn mowing season, my lives just doubled and tripled overnight. They went to 200, 300 live viewers, and the start of mowing season, they're going back down to allow me to get where I should be on my lawnmower. So yeah, it's definitely not the final live stream ever, but it's my final weekly live stream. Pokemon should not dump. Keep hype high, prices high. It's a fine line to toe. I don't know what's optimal. At some point, if every set is unattainable for months and months and years, I think that's an inherent negative to the hobby. But I don't know. There's some optimal way that they would navigate it. I truly just think, I think, like I said, I think they'll get it sub MSRP. I don't think it is possible for every set. Like I'm just not as bullish as Rudy. He has 100 times the product I do. I have my fair share. I have 100,000 pack inventory, counting the pallets, counting everything, approximately. But I'm just not as bullish. I'm bullish enough to have 100,000 packs. I'm bullish enough to quit my engineering job to do Pokemon full time. I'm pretty bullish in a lot of ways. But to me, the level of bullishness to say that there will never be a set under 100 again. There will never be an ability for people to get into distro again. Distro will just be free tendies for everyone who's in there forever. I don't think that's the case. I think there will be a day that GTS, Mad Owl, Southern, Peach State, Alliance, I think all these distros will take online retailers again someday. I could be entirely wrong, but I've been around for 11 years and I've heard a lot of people and I've made a lot of crazy statements of we'll never see this, we'll never see that, this price will never do that again. I don't know. My shooting star just depleted. Let me see if there's any quickly that I can go to. I don't think so. Nope. I'm just gonna close out RuneScape because I don't wanna take minutes to go to my next shooting star location. 6.9k subs, nice. I believe I'm at 6,998 or something, so I'm really close to hitting 7,000. Maybe we'll hit 7,000 tonight. Maybe we'll hit 69 again if enough people unsubscribe. If kids want to play, they can play with bulk. This adult business now. I think, as far as I understand, I think if you want to play like competitive Pokemon TCG, all those battle decks that many people don't want, I think you can build very competitively viable decks for like sub 50. You won't have it all blinged out. You won't have all the reverse hollows, alt arts. You won't have all SIRs, things of that nature. But you can build like a very functional, like the decks that win regionals, the decks that compete at worlds. Most of them are like sub 50 bucks as far as I understand, which is pretty cool. I think that's good to make it accessible. Yeah, anything that gives me AFK training, I'm all about it. Oblivion is getting remastered. Give it a try. RuneScape actually just came out with Dragon Wilds. I just don't want new video games. I'm very happy with my current video game that I play, and I don't have enough time to play it as much as I want to. So I'm not looking to add any new ones. Hi, Dan. Any guesses as to why Sword Shield Trainer Gallery is so much cheaper compared to late Sun and Moon tag teams? Sword Shield Trainer Gallery, I don't remember the pull rates off the top of my head of the Trainer Gallery and or the tag teams, but presumably the pull rates for the Trainer Gallery are a fair bit higher, and even if they're not, the print runs are a fair bit higher. So that would be some portion of it. How's it going? Cubone is metal. As ownership of major assets gets further and further out of reach for most people, they will cling to collectibles to have ownership in more affordable items. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I truly just don't know with a statement like that. Question: aside from banking on the off chance that these boxes are never cheaper than they are now, is there any reason to invest in SVBBs over SSBBs? One feels much riskier. I don't like investing in either, honestly. There's not a single, like on net, I'm not a net buyer of Sword Shield or Scarlet Violet booster cases. I think they're better than other things, but I just last week was selling some Silver Tempest cases at 90%, and maybe they go up and maybe they outpace what I'm putting my money into otherwise, but I would rather buy 2,000 or 3,000 loose packs of Surging Sparks with that money. And it's crazy, Dan, you just said you're pretty sure Surging is going to get reprinted and you're pretty sure it's going to come down. Yes, but I need it for my live streams. So I'm just trying to optimize my inventory, my holdings for me, for my operation. And that doesn't necessarily mean holding things, owning things that I think are going to go up the most. It's owning things that I think I can arbitrage and flip, buy at 80%, sell at 100%, buy at 80, like just do that to the tune of many, many tens of thousands of dollars a week, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But overall, if I had to pick one overall, I would rather buy Sword Shield cases than SV cases, mostly at current prices. But talk versus walk, I'm not doing either. I'm not buying either. So like if I had to, I would buy Sword Shield, but I'm not buying either. The short we can borrow from your palettes. Favorite Gold Star and favorite EX Pokemon from the EX era. Again, I'm terrible with EXs. I did used to have. I had the entire PSA 9 Gold Star set. I think the Gyarados is really cool. Gyarados with those print lines and Hold-On Phantoms. I believe it was Hold-On Phantoms. I say that and then I question myself. I believe it was. They're all so good. Greninja, shout out to Greninja, the 28th Gold Star. That one's quite the Gold Star artwork. But probably like Gyarados, probably trying to think. Rayquaza. Rayquaza is an easy answer. It's a 5-figure card in PSA 9, which is crazy. And then favorite EX Pokemon. I think EX Unseen Forces. It's such a shame. Honestly, I like the Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. I am very nostalgic to them. I don't know. Let me see. Can you see it? Pokemon Crystal. It's right next to that's Deus Ex. Shout out to Deus Ex if anyone played that back in the day. Crystal is right there above my Game Boy Advance SP. Right up there on the base set box. So I very nostalgic for Pokemon Crystal. Unseen Forces. You've got the Lugia. You've got such a legendary lineup. Such a legendary lineup of EXs in that set. It's a shame what happened with the Gold Star Legendary Beasts, the binder that got out, thousands of every Gold Star. They're the cheapest ones by far as of today. But it would probably be like, I know you didn't ask for which is my favorite set, but it would be some of the ones in that one. Really, really great set. Give a sub, almost 7K. Appreciate you, Trippy Hits. I just refreshed and we have 7K subscribers now. So appreciate everyone who subscribed. I don't think my notification thing is working properly. These stupid things just break. I try to listen to my 90s country music and it breaks. And I try to have a lawnmower go and I try to reel in all my subscribers and it's just not working. Let me log into my Stream Elements and see what's happening. Making me update my details. I don't want to do that. Activity feed. The activity feed doesn't look updated. I don't know why. But for whatever reason, it's not like, some days it's live, some days it's not. Destined Rivals will be 100, says Dio's Cards. I don't know if it'll go that low. And I don't know if it'll necessarily even be the box. But I am betting on the fact that Destined Rivals will be available widely under MSRP. Will it be the box? Will it be the ETB? Maybe not. Maybe it'll be some random collection box. I genuinely don't know. But it would be the first time ever. It would be the first time ever if a set... If you're a collector and you just have to have every set, like if you can't sleep at night without having every set, if you can afford it, like who cares? Just buy one now. If it goes to 160, 121, buy another one. If that's like, it's gonna sound bad. Some people are not gonna like this, but if $300 is like a lot of money to you, and if you're gonna like risk not paying your mortgage, not paying your rent, you're gonna risk like not being able to buy groceries for the week. Just skip it. Just pass on it. $300, almost $10 a pack. That's a lot of money for cardboard, for shiny cardboard. We don't need any of this. Like at some point, I would think consumers will just say like, I like this stuff, but I don't like it that much. And I said that a while ago. I said that a while ago on most things. I used to open a booster box, a couple booster boxes. Like we'd each do one, me and my family, and we're doing just a few packs now. We're splitting a booster box, or we're splitting a couple ETBs. It's crazy. It's crazy. Mason, truer words have never been spoken. That was with respect to Crown Zenith spanking all the other sets. It hasn't hit $10 a pack yet. I remember I said I don't think it would in the next year, back in January, and it marched to like $9.79, and I still don't think it's crossed 10, but it probably will. Herd Bros panic dumping everything as well for my homie. I've gotten a decent amount of people reaching out lately with sales, and I'm buying most of them. But not like panic dumping, I wouldn't say personally. I know I've heard like Pokey Plumber, I think I've heard Alex, I think I've heard maybe Pokey NE. I've heard a handful of people say that they're getting offered like $50,000 collections and $100,000 collections. I've had a couple come through, but not like a crazy amount, not any more than normal, not any more than 6 months ago or a year ago, I don't think. It's better for the future of the hobby for sealed to be readily available and just have a scarcity boom every few years, IMO. I will buy the next 12 sets at $170 a booster box. I'm confident we don't get back to $80 to $140 a box in that time. Maybe that is the case. I have allocation with 2 distributors. I get a couple hundred boxes, 150 to 200 boxes of every set as they come out. So that's just like a free double up every time a new set comes out, if that comes true. I genuinely would rather it go sub 160. I would rather be able to restock through distro and not have to buy from so many scalpers. Please, somebody scalp me on 3,000 Surging Sparks packs at $6 a piece, because I need them. I wish my distro had them to sell to me for a lot cheaper than that, but they don't. So please, somebody scalp me on 3,000 Surging Sparks packs at $6 a pack. Feel free to reach out. That is an actual buy offer. This is my buy list because I'm going to be at the water park most of the week, but I will have you shipped directly to PK, and then he will confirm receipt. And that night in the water park hotel, I will send friends and family, ACH, Wire, Zelle, whatever. I'll have my laptop. I believe Pokemon will print to demand. They don't like losing money. Trippy Hits is doing some Wildy Slayer. Wildy's a scary place, but I go out there from time to time. Competitive tournaments have never been in the better place, and tournament numbers are in the thousands. Yeah, it's crazy. Worlds and all that. I agree we're going to see another Vivid Voltage type set, I think, in the next 8 to 16 months. Who knows, though, might take longer. Speaking in absolutes never makes sense. Saying every box has gone up, so this one will most likely go up, gives the speaker more credibility. And same goes for the MSRP thing, and I think JT will be. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. Investors buy and hold for years. businesses buy to hold for no more than 30 days. Yeah, but many investors, myself included, I call myself a speculator. I don't call myself an investor, but I've caved in. I've caved into the investor semantics because it just works better. When I bought XY era cases from my distro, I used to set 1 or 2 cases back. And if you had asked 2014, 2015, 2016 Dan, hey Dan, what are you doing with those 2 cases of Phantom Forces? Those 2 cases of Primal Clash, Roaring Skies, 2 cases probably turned into 4 or 6 cases on the reprint. What are you doing with those? I'm gonna hold them for 5 or 10 years. I didn't hold them for 5 or 10 years. They did in 2 or 3 years what I thought they'd do in 5 or 10 years, so I sold them earlier. Same thing with Evolving. Evolving was just pretty recently. Hey Dan, what are you gonna do with those 10 Ks of Evolving you have set back? Probably hold them for 5 or 10 years. Evolving goes to 200. I go down to 2 cases. Evolving reprints goes to 120, and I'm like, yeah, I was right. I was right all along. Maybe I bought a couple cases back. I can't remember. My memory's not that good. Maybe I had 10 cases when it was around 150, and on the way up to 200, I sold down to 2 or 3, and then it fell to 120. I probably bought a couple more cases. I probably had like 4 cases then, feeling like a big shot. And when it went to 200, quickly, I sold another one, and I sold another one at 250, and I sold another one at 300. I've got 1 case left. I've got 1 case left of a 4-year-old set, 3.5, 4-year-old set that I thought I was going to hold my 10 plus cases for 10 years. That's how most investors end up panning out, to be honest. There are some exceptionally diamond-handed individuals and or companies that hold a lot longer. That there are still sealed cases of base set unlimited. But that's more the exception than the rule. What's the one thing you want to know from Nat about PSA in 2025/current? Stream is Friday, so want an updated answer from you beforehand. No chemical questions. I posted it in Oaks. I thought I had a good question, and I can't remember what it was now. Let me see if I can find it really quickly in Oaks. Why can I not search from? I'm trying to search from in Oaks, from me. I don't post in there a ton, but it's not letting me search that way. There's way too many. Oh, here we go. It was March 12th. I was getting really sassy. Yes. Glad we will waste time on a pod with Nat, asking him the same question he will give the same answer to for the 20th time. Can't wait. Oh, man. I was extra salty that day. So I said I feel like I had something better than this. I'd probably try to ask him a question tying in their purchase of Genament, which was like years ago now, and the recent hype around Tag. I'd probably refer to them generally. It might just be me, but asking about competition by name feels weird. I guess an interesting question could be asked about the prototype cards in general, what they saw / if they saw them. A better way to ask about them more directly than above, I think. I don't know. I feel like I had a good question that I posed somewhere, but it just got I think it got diluted out in the chat there. I'm scrolling a bunch and I can't find it, so I don't know. Good luck. Nat is I enjoy listening to Nat interviews. He's very good at dropping like a novel bit of information in every live stream that he does. He will have some new novel information as long as you have a good question that kind of pulls it out of him. Please don't ask, like, why does New Jersey hurt me? Please don't ask why the grading standards are different when he said multiple times they're not. I have a strong feeling we're going to get, like, the same questions that everyone's always asking that we always get the answers to. But hopefully there's some good new questions that you think of. I will think on it. I'm going to be at a water park the next few days. I probably won't remember to follow up on this, but I'm pretty sure I DM'd you somewhere. I DM'd you or I posted it in Oaks. I thought I had a good question proposal, but I can't find it right now. So Discord search is failing me. Jackson says, I haven't watched a PokeTube video in like 4 months, but I clicked on your Burnout one. Enjoy your vacation, Dan. Appreciate you very much. I will. Mason sells out Crown at 12. Can't get enough. Mason, I don't want to sell a ton, but I don't know what you're paying. I have 1,080. I think no, 1,050. I ship them 1,050 at a time. If you want 1,050 of them, that came from people who broke down Sea and Sky collections, coming from me, verified, but like they're good packs. If you want 1,050 of them, I've got some with your name on them. If not, that's fine too. But I talked last week about selling a handful of things, and almost everything's sold. I did sell 1,050 Crown Zenith packs, but there's a little bit more than I'd like to sell. All the time that I've been saying that I had 10 to 12,000 Crown Zenith packs, that's what I thought I had. I actually had like 16,000 packs. So it's not that I think Crown is going to zero. It's not that I want to get out of Crown altogether. It's that I have a lot more Crown than I realized, and I'd rather just take a couple thousand packs out of Crown and put it into Surging, put it into like other sets. Not that I think are better. I think if you pit Crown and Surging head to head, Crown is going to win. But one place that Crown didn't win is last week on my Fanatics. PK and Ponga. I think it was actually entirely PK because I think Ponga's out. He won't break down some sleeve blisters. Ponga, break them down on stream while you're getting paid your hourly rate. Sell a 9-pack lot, break 9 blisters. Not a big deal. Anyways, yeah, I would sell you 1,050 Crown, and I would buy with the proceeds 1,050-ish. Well, more than that. I would buy 1,500 Surging Sparks, because last week alone, PK sold 1,100 Surging Sparks. So yeah, PK's out here selling 1,100 Surging Sparks, and Ponga refuses to break down sleeved boosters, making me ride those down to $4 a pack. Richard expects lower prices to come. Gyarados is sick. I had one as a kid that I lost. I'm not a fan of the new Team Rocket set. Am I the only one who thinks that art is mid? I've heard that a bunch. I don't know. I'm not a big spoiler guy. I was actually listening to PK's live from Thursday, just earlier tonight, and he went through. I tried not to look at spoilers that much, but I did watch him go through a handful of the arts. I think artists are arting. I feel like there's some solid artworks in there. Some of them I don't like as much. Some of them I like a lot. Some of them I like a little. I'm not your art guru guy, but overall, Lorcana guru in your name. I wasn't even making a play on that, but it feels fine. It feels solid to me. It's pre-ordering for 300. I think that's insane, but yeah, we'll see. Horrible set. Do not buy, says Jackson. I'm approaching catching up to the chat. We are not booming anymore. I am 2 minutes behind. No, I'm 5 minutes behind chat, but there's only like 5 comments in 5 minutes. We've not even been live for an hour, and I'm already close to end of chat, and I'm already close to ending the live stream. I'll probably go for another 30 to 60 minutes if people have questions, but if not, I might wrap up early too and head to bed and get rested up for the water park. Richard Waters has 40k till 70 agility. Agility is the worst skill in RuneScape by far. I hate it. I've never tried, to be fair, I've never tried the what's the mini game? The Hollowed Sepulcher. I need to try that at some point. Maybe I'll like it. But if I'm playing actively, I want to just be doing raids. Sky and I were doing Tombs of a Masket the other night, and I got my Thread of Eldinis. So some people are going to be like, what is Dan talking about here? I'll talk with my son occasionally. My son has never played RuneScape. I'd probably be a better father if I never let him get into that. But he gets hyped. He's like, you're going to the Theater of Blood? It's like, that's the one with Verzik, right? That's the one where you want to get her scythe? And I'm like, yeah. And then he knows. He's like, that's the one. He remembers the boss names. He'll ask me the boss names. He'll ask me to like show him a video of someone defeating the Theater of Blood, someone defeating Tombs of a Masket. And he's like, it's crazy. It's crazy how good his memory is. I can't remember. We were just doing Tombs of a Masket, and I can't remember Baba and Zabak and But I tell him like one time, and then he's asking me the next week, like, have you gotten the drop yet? Have you gotten the drop from the Wardens? Have you gotten the Tumikin Shadow? If you run out of Destined Rivals in 1 week and boxes go to 500 a box, will you still buy more for the stream, and how much would you get? Yes. If I so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get my allocation for Destined Rivals, just like I did Surging Sparks. I'm gonna get X amount. I might get 30 cases. I'm getting less than I got of Surging. I might get 30 cases. So immediately, 4 of them go to the pallet. So 30 goes down to 24. I'll probably send 8 to PK, which is only 1,600 packs, 1,700 packs. I'm going to send 8 to PK and like 4 to Ponga immediately. So now I've only got 14 left. I'm probably going to be dumb again. I'm probably going to be dumb. I'm probably going to send 1 or 2 to Probestein immediately and try to just flip them for 95% right into the market. $2,000 cases, whatever they're going to be. I should hold them though. I should hold them to just keep drip feeding to PK and Ponga, but I'm going to actively be buying. When the set comes out, I'm going to be buying at 70% of market. I'm going to be buying at 70% of market, and I'm going to be selling at 110% of market. And once I'm going to watch my quantity. If I go from what is, I'll have ETBs, I'll have the other ancillary product too. But if I get down to where we're selling 1,000 packs, 2,000 packs a week, and I only have 4,000 packs left, I'll up my buy list to 75%, and I'll up my buy list to 80%. And if I run out entirely, I'll do 85% of market. So I'll pay 85% of market on $500. I'll be paying $425 a box. A week or 2 weeks or a month after, I sold my boxes for $300. I'm not too stubborn to buy back in to immediately resell. Like that's actively what I'm doing with Surging. So if I pulled up my email and I searched for Probestein Surging, I sold several cases, and it sounds like a lot in a way. Like I might have sold, say I sold 8 cases. Maybe it was that much, maybe it wasn't that much. I might have sold 8 cases of Surging through Probestein because I'm like, this is gonna have to come down, and it did come down some, but did it come down enough? That's one big question in Pokemon. Is like the frictional fees of selling product and then buying it back is so high. If you buy a stock at 100 and you sell it, well, say you sell a stock at 100 and it goes to 99, you can buy it back and gain that 1%. You can lock that in. If you sell a box, if you consign it through Probestein, 95%, or consign through Sealed Shiz Consignments, not quite as favorable rates, but I will say, Josh, the Green Shiz will treat you better. He will have a lot better tracking, a lot better communication than Probestein does. But I use both of them. If you sell through Probestein for a $2,000 case, you're netting 1,900 of that, 95% payout, and then you need to buy back. You need it to go down 5-10%. If you're doing really well, selling for like the lowest fees around, you need to go down 5 or 10% to be able to make any money buying it back, to be able to buy back and have like leftover money. Mason says, yuck, buying at 85%. This is sealed, not slabs. What are you paying on your, maybe we won't be able to find a number that works for both of us, but what are you paying on your crown? If you want to share here. If not, that's fine too. Bitcoin to 20K, have cash to DCA. If it goes to 20K, I'd probably buy a little bit more. I'd probably buy another half a Bitcoin or a Bitcoin. If it goes up above 100 again, before going to 20, I might sell a couple tenths of a Bitcoin or something. I don't really know. Roxy Boxy 69 says, Unified Minds is starting to go crazy. Wish I had more than 1 booster box. I have 0. So you're doing better than me, Roxy Boxy. Oh, hell no, you're not dumping your failed investments on me. That's with respect to the Crown Zenith. Mewtwo looks booty, but they did great on Ho-Oh. Cubonus Metal says, question, thoughts on the 2023 Victini EX 053 Scarlet Violet promo? I believe China, Indonesia, and Korea were the only ones to get it. Do you like the card? I am familiar with the card. I think it's cool. That said, I own 0, and I will likely never own any because I think there's a lot of cool cards. I cannot catch them all. I am not trying to catch them all. And it's fine to look at a card, to look at a set and say like, ooh, that's cool, and then not buy it. And that's what I do most of the time because I don't even know what the price of it is, but I'm quite confident that the market values it more than I do, as with most things in the hobby. Dan, play a real game. I've been in I've been in various Discords playing some Fall Guys with some Pokemon friends. I've been playing some Fortnite with Pokemon friends. It's been a while. I've been more in my RuneScape, my RuneScape Discords, playing some Tombs of a Masket, Theater of Blood. Sepulchre is fun, almost the boss vibe, but doesn't live up to raids by any means. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. It's an MMORPG, right? Most of my RuneScape play for the first 6 or 7 years that I played it was very solo, and playing in a voice chat with some people doing raids, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than just solo doing Vorkath and doing Serb and whatever bossing. Though I do enjoy that too. Pokemaniac says I should have sold my PC of slabbed illustration rares and bought gold instead. I used to be, I wouldn't call myself a full-fledged silver bug, but I used to have a fair bit of silver. I used to actually buy and sell silver a fair bit back in the 2011 bubble, 2011 boom. I was making good money just buying silver and selling it to preppers that lived near me and that worked with me. Oh man, I had a couple coworkers that I used to work with that were like afraid the government was tracking their purchases. So I'm like, hey, I'll buy it all through my credit card and I'll sell it to you maybe for cash equivalents. It was good business. Richard is working on bossing soon, mostly been slaying and arranging to get ready. I'm almost max combat all the way. Then Dan plays Subway Surfer and his son loses focus. Group Iron Man is such a good idea. I just don't play enough. I'd be frustrated by the fact how slow I progressed. Happy Monday. How's it going, Pokechef? It's a very strange day. It's a very strange day for me to be live. But I'm traveling. So Takibana asks, why final? What did I miss? It's not my final live stream. It's my final weekly stream. So I will be live not next week. I will be live in 2 weeks. I knew I did clickbait a little bit, but it's not dishonest. It is true. This is my final weekly live stream. I have been since October. I've been doing a live weekly stream on my channel, and I've been doing every other week on Pokeflips because I've been getting 100. I see now I just had over 100 live viewers, but I was getting 100, 200, 300 live viewers all winter long for the most part. Mostly 150 to 200. But it was solid. I was riding the wave. The wave is subsiding. The wave is calming. So I combined with the wave subsiding, the live stream's kind of like dying down a little bit, which is entirely fine. I'm not gonna quit. I promise you, it's not my final live stream in its entirety. I will be live next week on Pokeflips, next Friday with Nick, Old School Pokemon, and I will be live the week after that on this channel, back to my fortnightly solo live stream Q&As. So I will be live every other week on this channel, every other week in between on Pokeflips. But yeah. Steve's Collectibles says, how's the Hidden Fates or Champions Path selling on your lives? Champs has done terrible the last couple of years, but have the most of those. So curious. A lot of the Hidden Fates and Evolutions and Evolving Skies even, we don't rip as much. We rip it a little bit, but we sell more of it sealed. So you may or may not be aware, and I guess it's a good time to shout it out. If you look in the description below, there's an affiliate link for joining Fanatics. If you've not yet done it, you get $25 when you sign up for a new account. A lot of times we'll do like one Evolving Skies pack ship sealed, $25. Or we'll do whatever's around 20, $25. People will just use their free credits getting packs like that, getting the higher value packs. And you also, if you are a PSA member, search your email for PSA Fanatics credit. You might have $50, you might have 120, 125 bucks in your email inbox from PSA for being a PSA member. So definitely check those out. And it feels like the majority of our selling of those higher end packs are just people farming their new like 20 new people will join a stream one night and they'll all buy one pack of Hidden Fate ship sealed or something of the sort. So we sell some of it, but not a crazy amount. What % of your purchases in 2025 will be MetaZoo if it is continually successful? So I'm on pace to do $4 or $5 million in sales in 2025. It will be, if I had to guess, like MetaZoo, we just did a stream on Saturday. We sold a little over 2K in GMV. We sold like 20 boxes ish. If we do that every week, That might be 100K in sales. That might be 100K in sales for a year. I could see MetaZoo being a couple grand a week through the live streams, and if it's 100K in sales, it'll be approximately 100K in buys, right? Not, I mean, ideally not exactly the same amount unless I'm building a little bit of a buffer of inventory. But as of right now, like I bought a $40,000-ish allocation, and I bought a little bit through Hills when I saw they had $80 booster boxes. But yeah, it might be 100K over 5 mil would be, what is that? 1 over 2%-ish. It might be 2 to 5% of my purchases if it's really successful. So, and I think that would be great. I think that would be great if that could sustain, if that could persist and continue to be a thing. Hopefully the idea is like it's a little bit hard to go live and have like one set. You have one set to talk about. You have one set to rip, one set. When we go live, when PK Ponga go live on Fanatics, we have almost every set in stock from Sword Shield Darkness Ablaze all the way up to the latest set, all the way up to Journey Together. So you have like dozens of options. Like right now, PK is live on Fanatics, and he's probably sold several different sets already. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can see. It's hard to see while he's actually live. I don't want to go in the studio and mess with him. But yeah, he's probably sold several different sets today. I did buy some of the old MetaZoo with the idea that we will sell that also on live streams. I've not shipped any of that out to Sky yet. I kind of want to give new Zoo MetaZoo base set at least 3 or 4 streams where it's the only option, where it's the only thing. I will send him some he's gonna have to train up on being like the fastest ripper in the West, because if we sell one of these, maybe it'll be 15 or 20 bucks. I bought hundreds of these at like $7.50. It's gonna cost me a few bucks to ship it to him. Maybe it'll be 20 bucks a box. It'll be like Hateful Eight chases. It'll be serialized chases. It'll be a turbo rip. It'll be like Skya. You gotta rip those things in 5 minutes. You gotta rip a box. You gotta be quick. We'll see if that can make sense. If that can make dollars. If it can make business sense in a live stream. Maybe it can. Maybe it can't. But we'll see. Dan for president 2028. Definitely not. Name is Catch 'em All Collectibles. Doesn't want to catch 'em all. Yes, I'm a failure to my name. I think Destined Rivals is really good. Not the best, but top 4 SV set. I think there's a solid chance that it ends up being like a top 4 SV set. I could definitely see that happening. But does that justify 310 out of the gate? Me personally, I don't think so. I think given that money is fungible, given that you can buy anything you want in life for $300 instead of buying Destined Rivals, there are just so many things. Like, regardless of what my goal, if my goals are to have a good time, there's so many things I would buy before $300 Destined Rivals. If my goal is to invest and see gains based on the money that I put in, I would buy many things before Destined Rivals at 300. I just fundamentally don't understand it. It's not optimal return on investment monetarily for me. I don't think. I don't think it's optimal return on entertainment value for me personally. I just I don't see what the market's seeing. I hope it's not that they just think they buy it at 300 and it goes to 1,000 in a year. Maybe it does, but like I think that's a pretty risky bet. I was going through my opus earlier for last week's live stream, and so much of my last week's live stream was just saying like I think it's stupid to speculate on Destined Rivals at 300 a box, and I still think that's true today. Just because I think it's stupid doesn't mean you won't make money on it. So it's my final weekly stream. Everyone is missing the important word weekly. I'm going back to fortnightly live streams. I'm almost caught up on chat. If anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them. We've got Sky, that one guy in chat, the Tombs of a Masket carrier. We've got oh man, that was fun. That was fun. But it is not my last live. It is my last weekly live. I will be live in 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks thereafter. I will be live in between PokeFlips weeks, moving ahead, like I used to be in pre-October 2024. I used to just do every other week on my channel, every other week on Pokeflips. So I'll be back to that. Group iron makes it way more tolerable. Your teammates can take some of the gross grind away. Yeah, I have a buddy, an old coworker, who is grinding like real hard on Group Iron Man, and I couldn't do it again. I'm 2 quests away from having my quest cape again. I couldn't do the quest again. I couldn't do 70 agility again. I couldn't do 70, or I think I have like 77 rune crafting, whatever it takes for Drainer or Lumbridge elites. But yeah, I don't know. Guy says he can rip a box pretty fast. I will say, Skya, you're gonna find out. Like, I don't know how much old zoo you rip, maybe none. These packs open a lot harder than new zoo packs, so it's gonna be a little bit tougher on the fingers. It's gonna be like Happy Gilmore in there. My fingers hurt. Well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Hopefully Skya is not pulling landscaping duty. We'll see though. Do you have any advice for optimizing advertising a new store? Is this a brick and mortar? Is this an online like Shopify Wix store? I think targeted ads through Facebook, Instagram. Shout out to Hoot Hoot TCG. Shout out to Benji. He has a collector's card house. He just started a local LGS, local LGS, redundant. He started an LGS in the Massachusetts area somewhere. I forget exactly the town. Sorry, Benji, if you're in here, shout it out. But he mentioned in I think it was on Pokeflips when he came on with us. I think he mentioned that he had really good success doing like a local targeted Facebook thing, and he it targeted people in a zip code. It targeted people like relatively near him, because obviously, like if you go do a broad campaign and you push it worldwide, you're not going to be like advertising the people in California, getting them to fly across the country to go to your LGS in Massachusetts. So yeah. Are you going to any collecticons? Do you charge for photos? I do not charge for photos. I do. It still kind of blows my mind, but I don't know if I had any requests in Fort Lauderdale, but 1 or 2 people might come up and say like, hey, can I get a picture with you? Always. Maybe they'll have a Quaxley. Maybe they'll have a Charmander they want signed. Maybe they'll have a Bigfoot they want signed. I will always do those things. Always. I'm one of the taller guys in the room. If Kanto Shark's there, someone's got a foot on me almost, but I'm usually pretty easy to find. So I will be at Cleveland. I will be at the First New Jersey. I will be at Charlotte. I will be at Card Party West. And I think that's it. Maybe I missed one, but I did go to Fort Lauderdale was my first one, and then those are my coming ones. Cleveland being my next one. What do you think are some catalysts for MZ to do well? Hopefully MZ does well for you. Love the old and new zoo. I just think I genuinely hope it just has like a passionate player base. I don't need it to be the next Pokemon. They don't need it to be the next Pokemon either. I just hope it genuinely entertains, genuinely creates some enjoyment for the people who collect it, play it. I actually, shout out to Skya. He got me all my singles, and I have a complete binder. Barring, I couldn't bring myself to have him ship me the there's my boy Grill Greaser Pete, but I couldn't have him ship me the OG Mothman. He did pull a couple. We did a mass rep for eBay, but I have all the alt arts now, and I just don't have the OG Mothman, which would go right there, number 239, I believe. But yeah, I have the hidden rares. He opened thousands of packs. He opened a lot of them to be sold as singles on eBay. Very, very slow sales as of right now. Very, very slow sales on eBay. I don't know if TCG Player will ever add it, but it'll be interesting to see if that happens. But catalyst for it to do well, hopefully growing like organic collectability and organic demand in player base. I know Ray, Shining Cards and Collectibles, shout out to him. He's been streaming MetaZoo a fair bit on Whatnot. Sky's gonna go live sometime next weekend again. Hopefully we can get a weekly live stream where we rip a few hundred packs of MetaZoo every week, and that would be healthy. That would be healthy for the game. That would be healthy for the attrition to the product, not everyone investing all that stuff. So yeah, that's hopefully 5 years from now, they're a dozen sets plus deep, and there's just like actual organic demand. That's what I want for it. Can't believe we'll never see Dan again. Congrats on your last live. Enjoy your time at the water park. Final weekly stream, not final stream. I will be live in 2 weeks. 2 weeks in a couple days, because I'll probably go back to Wednesday. Final weekly stream equals boom over. My viewership boom has definitely subsided. I have 101 watching right now, but October to like March, I was having 150 plus most weeks. So we will send TOAs again sometime. I think overall I prefer Tob to TOA, Eater of Blood to Tombs of a Masket, but I like them both. I like them both, and I'm super broken RuneScape, so I need to send the raids and get the purples. I tell everyone to take everything with a grain of salt. I am one guy making my thoughts known. I have called a lot of things wrong. And the thing is, like, I didn't guarantee $300 evolving would crash. I said that there's a decent likelihood that it will get reprinted and it will come down. And at some point between 350 and 400, I kind of realized, like, it feels like the train is leaving the station. And somewhere in a live stream, I mentioned that, like, hey, I only had one case left. I went and I bought another case. And since, like, I tell you what I see, hear, feel, think, and I tell you what I do also. So if I make a call that doesn't pan out, if I say Crown Zenith, I don't see a way that could go to $10 within a year, and then it goes to $10 almost within a month. I will say I was wrong. I was way too bearish. I was way too, like, I will very rarely, if ever, have I been way too bullish on anything in the hobby. But there's definitely times where inversing me could have performed well for you. But there's also, like, a lot to be said. If you had just matched me exactly what I've done in the past 11 years, I've done not too bad. There's many people, hundreds of people, thousands of people that did more in the same amount or less time. But I've not done too bad myself. So again, I've done nothing more or less than what I've done. I've made exactly the amount of incorrect calls, the amount of bad calls, bad takes that I've made, and never going to shy away from them, never going to be ashamed of it. I'm just out here not telling people what to do, not telling people how to think. I'm telling people what I think, why I think that, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's it, nothing more. Agreed, beta 300 is cheap for how good Destined Rivals is. Grimer's bullish. Would you be willing to take a high premium to do a pack break mid-water slide at the park? No, I would not. Oh, man. Oh, and Beta says, there was a silent S on my comment, LOL. How much for your autograph? My autograph is free if you find me live in person. Dan MZ promo $500 redemption at Cleveland confirmed. That is not confirmed. I need to make another Instagram post. I am buying for the final week. So if you have one still, if you have a Dan promo, either the seal imprinted one, imprinted with my corporate seal, or if you have that's the laser etched one. If you have the laser etched one, or if you have the seal imprinted one, feel free to reach out. I'm buying these for $50 a card, or $60 credit towards a MetaZoo booster box, base set booster box, through the end of the month, and then I'm done with that. I just want to put that behind me. I think it's weird for a guy who owns part of the new company to have a public buy list for an old card from the failed version of the game where he had a personalized promo. I just want that chapter to be over. I think it was fun. It was a lot of fun. OG Zoo was a lot of fun. It was cool to get those promos, but turning the page on that chapter at the end of the month. Was full-time Pokemon always your dream job? If not, what was it? No, I would say when I was really young, I think at one point, if you would ask me in my youth, I probably wanted to be a spaceman. I probably wanted to be a garbage man. I probably wanted to be a firefighter, a million different things. I don't know, whatever, all the normal things. At some point, I definitely wanted to do what my dad was doing. I used to work with my dad from 3 years old to 17 years old. I never had a real job. I flipped stuff on eBay on the side. I worked with my dad, and I did all different kinds of things, whatever he was doing. Kind of handyman, does all different kinds of things. So part of me was like, maybe I'll follow in his footsteps, take over the family business, do what he's doing. But in school, I got really into math and science, and my dream thing was like, I want to go be a chemical engineer. I want every day to be math and science. And it was for 10 years. And I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I can't say that I miss it, really. I like what I'm doing now a lot. There's some things that are better, some things that are worse, but most things are significantly better. So as of today, it's my dream job. As of sometime in 2019, 2020, I started getting the feeling that like I made a video before on my channel, 10 years of selling Pokemon on eBay. And at some point in like 2019, I started to think like, I could probably do this full time. And then 2020 happened. It's like, I can definitely do this full time and I have to do this full time. So yeah, crazy. Oh God, I just realized that the L in LGS is local. Do you have any idea how many times I've told people to look for a local LGS near them? That's triple redundancy. Yeah, like ATM machine. I think there's a lot of acronyms in life that people add redundancy to. It's a pretty common thing. T-Chef says, one of the taller guys, bro's almost a foot taller than me. Great to meet you in Fort Lauderdale. Very nice to meet you as well. Yeah, I'm 6 foot 4 3/4. It's funny because like I have some friends, I have some family, I know some people that are like they're 6'6" and I'm taller than them. I'm a straight shooter, transparent. Give you the actual numbers. Barefoot. I think people, is this weird? I think people give their height with shoes on. Isn't that weird? Isn't your height like your barefoot height standing against the wall? Like I'm 6 foot 4 3/4. I've measured. I think when you go to the doctors though, I feel like some doctors have made me kick off my shoes and some haven't. Maybe they only make that mistake once on a hot summer day, asking me to kick off my my shoes. But yeah, I don't know. I do my unshoed height, 6 foot 4 3/4. But when I weigh myself, that's going in or coming out of the shower. I try to help myself out by shedding the 3-ounce t-shirt and the 8-ounce pair of shorts that I'm wearing. Can't believe Dan is retiring. GG. My final weekly stream, going to Fortnightly, going to bi-weekly, semi-weekly. I'm not actually done Chaos Emperor. I'm going to be streaming in 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks from here on out. I need the shoes. Chill. Gotta add the 3/4. Yeah, I'm very almost 6'5", but I'm not actually 6'5". A spaceman. I think I would have said a spaceman at 2 or 3 and not an astronaut. So that's why I said spaceman. Nepo baby Dan. Yeah, I had what I had. I had more than a lot of people. I had a lot less than a lot of people. I did not yeah, that's a conversation I've had a bunch, and I'm assuming it's sarcastic, but sometimes it's not. And yeah, people can sometimes get weird. But yeah, I never been ashamed of my journey. It is what it is, and I'm here, and I'm doing what I'm doing. So this entire channel is just me sharing that. We're at 90 minutes. It looks like I'm fully caught up. Actually, I missed one right here. What do you think an Evolving Skies box will be valued at by this time next year? Okay, so this is one where like a lot of people say, Dan, that dude is always on the fence. He never asks. If you ask me a specific question and give me a specific time frame, I'll give you an answer. I'll throw a single number at you. I'll say, so in the past 1 year, Evolving was $690 a year ago. It's $1350 today. Where do I think Evolving will be in a year? I'm going to say $1,500. Oh my, $1,500? What are you talking about, Dan? That's only a 10% gain. It's a guess. It might be higher. It might be. Now Dan is getting back on the fence. I made a singular number guess. I have 6 boxes. I have 6 boxes in a sealed case. I'm not selling the 6 that I have currently. I don't need the money. Opportunity cost, blah, blah, blah. I think it'll do fine for me long term. I'd be happy if it was 1,500 in a year. It could be 1,000. It could be 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. I have no clue where it's going to be. So I threw out a singular number. If people ever want one, don't act on it. Don't make major financial decisions based on it. But I will make a guess. I will make a singular guess. Have a good one, Pokemaniac. I'm gonna be wrapping up soon. Oilers Kings. I have no stake in that game. I don't care who wins. It sold for $14.90 on TCG Player yesterday. Can we put money on this? I hold that guess with so little conviction. I have 6 boxes of it sealed in a case. I care so little about what my sealed case of Evolving Skies is worth in a year. It's just not front of mind. It'll probably be higher. No, we cannot make a wager. I hold it. I was thinking it was a 10% gain. So maybe it'll be 1650 then. Maybe it'll be 1650. I was just looking at the TCG Player market price, of which I know right now it's showing most recent sale 84.77. All the stupid crap that why does TCG Player allow people to list simplified Chinese Final Flame Dance booster box for $59.99, Korean Blue Skystream box? It's so annoying. Like why? That's one thing. Like eBay, it would be harder to police eBay to remove all the bad scam listings, because like if you look for Evolving Skies, some of them are in different categories. There's not like one listing where every quantity of Evolving Skies boxes on eBay. So for them, I get it. It's a little bit harder to keep up playing whack-a-mole with all the bad listings. But like TCG Player could just implement some algorithm that says like, hey, if there's been 10 sales of an item in the past month at X and market price is XY, so some percentage of X, just delete every listing that is 10% of that price. Like clearly, if someone lists something in the Evolving Skies listing and it's $150 or less, clearly that's not an Evolving Skies booster box. Like, get rid of it all. What are you doing, TCG Player? It's so annoying. It's so stupid. 36 evolving sleeve booster packs, 36 loose evolving booster packs. It's so dumb. What's the over under? So I'm gonna revise, since it's 1500 today. I'm gonna say it's 1650 in a year. I'm gonna give my 90% confidence interval. I'm gonna say it's between 1400. I'm gonna allow for a little bit of a reduction. I'm gonna 90% confidence interval. It's between 1400 and 2200 in a year. I don't know. If I actually gave you 90% confidence interval guesses on different items, different prices at different times, I'd probably be right on like 3 of them. So it probably should realistically be a 30% confidence interval if you do the math, but I don't know. I'm just a dude yelling into the void on YouTube. Newbie here, so if inappropriate, please ignore. What amount of sealed product do you take and sell at Collecticon type shows? I've not gone in a while, but back when I used to vend Collecticons, I used to vend with somewhere between 50 and 100 grand worth of stuff. It was primarily slabs. I used to bring 50 to 100K in slabs, and I used to sell 20 to 50% of what I brought. Maybe more. There's times where I got bought out and I sold 80% of what I brought, but that was less common. It was usually half or a little bit more than half of what I sold, probably what I brought. Price of SM210 this time next year has just under 90 of them. Let's see what SM210. I know it's the Legendary Birds from Hidden Fates. I love that promo. I hate that TCG Player. I'm ranting about TCG Player now. If you search SM210, why does SM210 not come up as the first result? I'm just going to search Articuno and Zapdos and Moltres. I hate their search. I hate that they allow trash listings to clog the search results. So in the past year, it's gone from 13 to 32. Most recent sales 52. So like TCG Player is so far off. If it's actually 50, for near mint, looks like, I'll say it's gonna be 80 in a year. Like that's a crazy gain, 60% in a year for a promo card. I really like that promo. The stained glass, really unique art style. Hopefully they do that again for the Entei Raikou Suicune Roku. I haven't said that name wrong in a long time. Entei Raikou Suicune. It would be cool to just get a lot of the trios done up in that artwork style. Dan, if you were a Machamp, how much more money do you think you could make annually with 2 extra arms? Not quite double. I would say 50% more. 50% more money with twice the arms. You've seen the crazy prices PSA 10 vintage mid-era cards are getting. Level X Glaceon from Majestic Dawn hitting 10K. Yeah, it's crazy. It is 2021 all over again. What time zone is Oregon in? Just checking, Dan. Pacific time. I'm assuming your regular PO box is where we send the Dan promos, right? Gonna send over 6 for 3 hot MZ boxes. Yes. PO box 143, Verona, New York, 13478. DM me if you have any questions on that. But Dan, let's open up the Oreos on the shelf. Feel like a snack. Do I have them behind me? Where are my Oreos? I think they're up here. I have Oreos. I have Oreos somewhere. I don't know where they went though. They're not behind me, but they're somewhere in here. Yeah, it's annoying. But yeah, that's it for tonight. I'm fully caught up in chat. A little bit over 90 minutes. Solid live stream for the short week. Hope everyone has a great one. Hope everyone had a great Easter. I know I did. It was a solid time. Family, friends, good food, too much food. I need to get back on track. Trying to lose some weight again. But yeah, appreciate everyone watching. I will catch you all later in 2 weeks.